Hello, everyone. Welcome to the APH Virtual Excel Academy. Today's topic is Money Masters. I hope you're ready, counting those coins, figuring out how much money you spend. Welcome. Hello. Glad to see some of our friends joining us today. Today is the APH Virtual Excel Academy, really meant for our little bit older students, but you're all welcome to stick around. We're talking about money masters. Gonna think about how we spend our money, how we save our money. Are you ready to get going? You're welcome to say hi in the chat. Again, welcome to the APH Virtual Excel Academy. Today's topic, Money Masters. And I would like to introduce you to our instructor today, Kathy Bingham. Hi, Kathy, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Leanne. I'm so excited to be here today on APH talking about money masters and creating new money masters. It is one of my favorite topics to talk about. So, like Leanne said, it is geared to a little bit older students, but I'm sure that everybody will be able to find something that they can use from our lessons today. So what we're going to start out with is just a quick little question or two to find out some important things we need to know to become money masters. The first question I have is, who can tell me what income is? Income is an important thing for us to be able to know. I'm not seeing a whole lot coming through the chat, so I'm just going to help you out on this one. So when I have money, there are two things that can happen with it. I can earn money, and earned money or money that I receive is income. That is money coming in to me. That's a great way to remember it. So income is money coming into me. Zach says birthday money is income, and he must be reading my mind because he asked my next question. I was going to ask you guys, what are some ways that you guys receive income, some money that you have coming into you? So Zach told us already there's some birthday money that can be a form of income. We could get maybe some Christmas money, some money that's given to us as gifts. Zach also says chores. I love it. I'm seeing a fantastic list of income coming through the chat. So chores is a way that you could get income. Some people have parents or grown-ups that pay them money to do some chores around the house. And I say that's like a job. I love it. Another way that we can get income is through an allowance. Some people have parents or guardians that give them money every month as an allowance. So here's the money that you can have, and you can budget that and spend that. But usually an allowance doesn't require you to do any work for it. That's awesome. My stepson, he gets to earn money from us if he completes all of his schoolwork. At the end of the week, if he has 0 missing assignments, then he can earn some money, and that is his income, which is awesome. I love these ideas. As we get older, we might have options available for us that we can get a job. My daughter works at Old Navy, and she has that job. Some other jobs that are creative that you can think of is maybe you could help take care of somebody's pet while they're away. Maybe you could help with, yes, the store. You're right. We could get a job at a store. We can get a job just helping people in our neighborhood would be willing to help us earn some income. So I love that. So now that we know all about income, the other thing we have to Oh, Donnie, that is absolutely correct. Shoveling snow. And I can say in Utah, where I live, last week you could have earned a bunch of money shoveling snow. So now that we have all of these great ideas for our income, then we need to talk about that other word that we need to know when it comes to money. And that word is expenses. And don't confuse that with the word expensive. We're looking for what is an expense. Does anybody have an idea what that would be?
Hi, Kathy. Isabel has her hand raised, so I'm going to
Oh,
allow her to talk.
that would be fantastic. Hi, Isabel.
Zoom webinar, lower hand button.
An expense could be something that is very expensive at a store.
Exactly. So sometimes things are expensive at a store. And when I think of expensive, that means the money is leaving my hands. So it is exiting my hand. And that's where I get that X for expensive and expense. So anytime I spend money, that is an expense. So
Yes.
basically, when we're making a spending plan, all we're doing is we're tracking money that we have coming into us and money that we pay going out from us. So money coming in, money exiting. That's awesome. I'm going to share my screen real quick because we are going to talk a bit about how we can take and make our own spending plan. And spending plan is the word that I like to use instead of the word budget. Some people can think of the word budget, and that doesn't sound like a very fun word. But spending plan shows that we are money masters and we are in control. So the first step that we need to do when we are creating a spending plan is we need to know how much money we have coming in. How much money are we dealing with every month? So I just want to throw it out to you guys as we make one together about how much money do you guys make or have coming in every month as a teenager? Some of you mentioned that you had an allowance. Some of you mentioned maybe you shoveled snow. Donnie, did you make some money when you were shoveling snow? Well, let's just assume together, shall we make a monthly spending plan? Oh, nice. Susanna says $5 a week. That would be fantastic. Let's work on $5 a week. So if I make $5 a week for my allowance, if I have 4 weeks in a month, then I make 5, 10, 15, $20 a month. I love that. So in my form right here that we're tracking, I'm going to say our income is $20 a month. So next we need to apply a very special rule. Our special rule is the 30, 30, 40 rule. When you're a teenager, a great way to split up your income is to have 30% go to your wants, 30% go to your needs, and 40% to go to savings. And that can be kind of tricky. Calculating all of these percentages seems tough, but there's a special little trick we can do. Behind the 40, I can assume there's a decimal point behind that 0. If I take that decimal point and I move it 2 spaces to the left, it moves in front of the 4. So instead of having 40%, I can have 0.40. So if I want to calculate how much money I should be sending to savings every month, I can take my monthly income, which is $20, and I can multiply that by 0.40. And that tells me that $8 every month should go to my savings account. So I'm going to enter that in my spending plan right here. Now, an easy way to calculate the rest of my percentages, I just take what's left. So if I had $20 and I spent $8 on savings, I would have $12 left. So I can take that $12, split it in half, and that gives me my 30% for each category. So $12 divided by 2 is $6. And I'm entering that into my spending plan right now. So I have taken my $20 allowance for the month and I've split it up. So now I know how much I can spend in my categories. I'm spending 40% or $8 on savings. I'm spending 30% or $6 on my needs and 30% or $6 on my wants. So I have 3 simple categories there and we've done the math. So the next thing we want to talk about is we want to treat our savings like an expense. And you are the most important person that deserves to have money, I think. So you get to pay yourself first. So if I have a $20 monthly allowance, I'm going to make sure that I take that $8 and I put it in savings very first thing. Why do we think we want to pay ourselves first? I'm really anxious to see what you have to say in the chat. Zach says, because it's his money. I love that thought. You're right. It's your money and you earned it. Nice job, Donnie. And another question I have is if I put my money in my savings first, do you think it will be easier or harder to spend that money? I think if I already have my money in my savings account, then it'll be harder for me to spend that. Whereas if I just start spending my money for my month, I might find there's some things that I want that I accidentally spend my savings money on. So that's why I think it's very important to make sure that we take our savings money because it belongs to us and put it in that savings account so we can have it later. And it's important to put our money in our savings account because we want to build what is called an emergency fund. Emergencies are something that happen that we may not expect, but maybe we would need money to deal with that emergency. Can any of you guys think of something that might be an emergency that you would need some money for? Donnie says maybe some seizures. That would be true. We might need some money to help with that. To buy a gift for your mom's day. What if you forget that your mom's birthday is coming up and you want to buy a gift? Or what if you have something to do with friends? What if you have a friend that wants to go out and have some fun and you weren't expecting that? That could also be an emergency. So sometimes we have things that we don't remember. Oh, or maybe you want to buy a gift for somebody who's not feeling so well. That's an excellent idea for an emergency fund. And if we have money in our savings, then we can use our savings money to buy those things. I love it. We want to make sure, and sometimes people recommend that we have a lot of money in our emergency savings account. And as you become a grown-up, that becomes way more important. But the important thing now is you can get started building that habit of paying yourself first and putting it in a savings account so that as you get older, it will be easier and you will have that money to help you out when you need it. That's awesome. You guys are doing a great job working on being money masters. So while we're here talking about savings, I wonder if you can tell me in the chat, if you have a savings account already, type a Y in the chat. And if you don't, type an N. And let's just see who is already on their way to be a money master by already having a savings account. Donnie says no, so that can be a goal for him. That's awesome. But Nita has one. Fantastic. I love that you have a savings account already. Yes, and sometimes our parents make savings accounts for us, and maybe they can put some money in sometimes. Wow. And Zach just switched from a savings account to a checking account so he can learn. Oh my goodness. And checking accounts are amazing accounts that can help us manage our money because it's a little bit easier to get money out of a checking account than out of your savings account. So that makes it easier to spend your money. And when we're spending our money, since we've already spent for our savings, then we need to talk about how we are going to spend our money with our wants and our needs. And wants and needs are two very important topics right there for us to talk about. So who can tell me what is a need? Wi-Fi. That could be a need. In today's day and age, I can tell you when I was a kid, we didn't have Wi-Fi, so it was a want. But now the way society is going, it's really hard to do things without the internet. So Wi-Fi is becoming a need. Nice point. And also things that we need to live. So we have to have food to live. We have to have water to live. We have to have clothing to live, and we have to have a shelter to live. So those are very important things. If we did not have those things, we would not be able to live anymore. And those are what needs are. We need that to survive in our everyday life. I love it. So wants would maybe just be anything above and beyond that. So I want you in the chat to give me an example of something that would be a want, something that would be nice to have, but I don't have to have that to live. Video games, excellent suggestion. And Netflix. Netflix can make life more enjoyable, but I don't have to have Netflix to live. Very good. Wow, a clarinet bracelet? That sounds really cool. Yes, a clarinet bracelet would make life much better, but I don't have to have that to live. Very good. So according to our budget, we can spend 30% on our needs, those things that we have to have, and 30% on our wants, those things that just make life better. So here's a question. Are there some things that might be hard to decide if that's a need or a want? So my great example right here is, what about a Snickers bar? A Snickers bar is food, and I have to eat if I'm going to live. But is that a need or is that a want? Donnie says it's a need. Nitya's giving me another example. She's saying an ice cream cone. Is an ice cream cone a need or is an ice cream cone a want? It's a want. Same with my Snickers bar. I don't have to have a Snickers bar to live, but sometimes I may feel like I need it. So I like to call those things a want need because I really want it, but it can kind of feel the role of a need because it is food. What about if I have a pair of black boots that are great and they fit me good and they're comfortable to walk in? What if I see a pair of boots just like them except they're brown? Would the brown boots be a want or would the brown boots be a need? Zach says it would be a want. You are right. I have a pair of boots already that keep my feet dry and help me walk in the snow. So I don't have to have, or I don't need the pair of brown boots since I already have them. I may want them, and that's great to want them, but I should make sure I have enough money in the want portion of my budget before I buy them. So that is something called delayed gratification. And that's just a really big word for waiting to get something until you know that you have the money to buy it. And if you save up and you wait, then it is going to feel really good when you finally get it because you've worked really hard to save. That's awesome. I'm going to give a couple more examples of wants and needs. So be ready in the chat to tell me a W for a want or an N for a need. What if I'm out and I'm thirsty and I buy some bottled water? Would that be a want or would that be a need? Nice. I'm seeing a need come through the chat. And I would agree with that one. If I'm away from home and I'm thirsty, I need to get some water. What if instead of choosing water, what if I chose a great big extra large container of soda or pop, depending on where you're from? Would that be a want or would that be a need? I think that one would be a want. Very, very good. All right, let's do another example. What if it's cold outside and I've lost my coat and I get a new coat? Is that a want or is that a need? And you can type a W in the chat for want and an N in the chat for need. That one would be a need. We need coats to keep us warm and protect us when it's cold outside. But if I have 3 coats at home and I see another really cute coat in the store, if I go for that coat, that one would be a want because I already have a coat at home. Now here's a tricky question. What about a cell phone? Would a cell phone be a want or would a cell phone be a need? I see a want coming in the chat. And I would agree with that one. Cell phones are really important in our society right now, but we may not actually need them at the moment. And sometimes it might be even helpful not to have a cell phone because sometimes they can distract us from things that we should be doing. Very good. All right, I think we're feeling pretty good about our wants and our needs. So we've estimated our monthly income. We've applied our 30-30-40 rule, so we know how much to put in savings. We've paid ourselves first by putting that money in our savings account, and we're working on building up our emergency fund. One more thought I had about our emergency fund is we have to decide how much money do we need to have in our emergency fund? And I think our emergency fund, that would depend on how much money that we have coming in every month. So if I have $8 every month that I can put in savings, I think it would be amazing to have a goal to get to where I had $20 in savings. That would be like having a whole month of allowance in my savings account. Or if I wanted to stretch myself a little bit more, I could set the goal to have $40 in my savings account. And that would give me even more money that I can have for an emergency. So after we have built up our emergency funds, then we need to come up with our categories of what we spend our money on. So what are some things that you guys like to spend your money on when you have some money to spend? And Donnie, I am not sure what MNMS is. Can anybody help me out?
M&Ms.
Oh, M&Ms. Thank you so much. All right, first, then that brings a very important question, Donnie. So plain M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, or peanut butter M&Ms? Because in my world, the peanut butter M&Ms, plain. Oh, Donnie is an M&M purist. Thank you, Donnie. So Donnie loves that. Oh, buying a clarinet reed. That is so cool. I love that. So we have something for food. We have a clarinet reed, which maybe I would say is entertainment. Isabel looks like she has her hand raised. Isabel, would you like to unmute and share with us?
Face.
A really cool iPhone.
A really cool iPhone. Wow. Yes, that would be a really neat thing to be able to spend our money on. So on that really cool iPhone, is that something that we would have to save up for?
Yes.
Yes, because really cool iPhones are very expensive, aren't they? But we can make a plan for that. So some of the things that I've heard you guys talk about spending your money on are some food, are some things that you like to do for fun, like playing a clarinet and getting a reed so that you can do that. A phone, so some electronic equipment, that's fantastic. What about, do any of you guys ever buy some money on clothing? I see another entertainment thing in the chat, going to a movie. That's something that's really fun to spend money on. So we could come up with our categories for our budget or our spending plan for that. So if I know that I really like eating M&Ms and I want to allocate some money for that, then I'm going to say, about how much money do I think I'm going to spend on M&Ms? And maybe I'll decide I'm going to spend $5 on M&Ms this month. And so that's where I can create my category. And on mine right here, I'm going to say eating out. I'm going to say I'm going to spend $5 on eating out. Then I can look and see how much money I think maybe I'm going to spend on clothing. And maybe this month I don't want to spend a whole lot of money on my clothing. So maybe this month I'm only going to do like $2 for that. And then maybe I want to save some good money for my phone and really be working on that. So then I could allocate maybe $8 to spend on my phone. And I can put that in savings until I have that amount of money. So what we're doing now is we're setting goals for how much money we want to spend in these different categories. And after we've figured out how much money we want to spend in all of the different categories, then we have to track how much money we actually do spend. So how can we track the money that we spend? Isabel, do you have any ideas on that one? Go ahead and unmute.
Keeping your money in a wallet.
Keeping your money in a wallet, that can help us keep track because we can remember how much we started with and then how much we have left, and that will help us know how we can spend. I have a question. When I go to the store and I spend some money, they always ask me if I want a receipt. Could I use receipts to help me track how much money I've spent? Type a yes, a Y for yes, or an N for no. Donnie says, absolutely, I can use these receipts to help me remember what I have spent. I love that. And then we've also got the suggestion that we could use a piggy bank for this. So receipts have a lot of information on them that can help us. So I'm going to sum up a little bit of information for you. Every receipt has the date that you made the purchase on it. It also has the amount that the item cost, and it has the amount that we pay in taxes on those items. And then it gives us a total amount. So when I go to the store and I buy, say I go to the dollar store and I buy something, it doesn't just cost me $1. I have to pay about $1.06 to cover the taxes on that. And our receipts can help us remember how much that we spent. Sometimes the receipts have information and some words on it that tell us what we bought. So sometimes it could say candy bar, or I went to the store last night and I bought a plant and it listed plant on my receipt and then the amount that it cost. So if I don't have vision, how can I read the receipts that they give me? How can I make that piece of paper meaningful? Maybe we could feel it a little bit. There might be something on it we can feel. Does anybody else have an idea? You can use Braille. Would you maybe have somebody who maybe have your parent or your guardian come with you? Could they read the receipt for you? We could always get sighted assistance. Did you know there are some? Zach says to take a picture with your phone. Excellent. So maybe you could use Seeing AI to help you to read it. Or you could try an app called Be My Eyes, and they could help you read your receipt. Oh, Monica read my mind. Awesome. So this is a way that we can help track our expenses. So one technique that I want to share with you for money masters is called the envelope method. And the envelope method means what we will do with our budget is we'll have 3 envelopes. We'll have one envelope for savings that we're going to put our money in first. We're going to have another envelope for wants and another envelope for needs. And then what I can do with my budget is I can take my money if I have cash, and at the beginning of our month for our $20 month budget, I can put $8 in my savings envelope. I can put $6 in my wants envelope, and I can put $6 in my needs envelope. Then if I go to the store and I want to go buy some M&Ms, I'm going to go to my wants envelope. I'm going to take the money out of there. I'm going to go to the store and buy my M&Ms. When I come back, I'm going to make sure that I put my change that I get back from the store and the receipt in my envelope. And that way I can help keep track of the money that I've spent. I have the paper receipt to remind me, and I have the change. Then I can count my money and say I bought my M&Ms at the dollar store and I took $2 with me. It cost $1.06. So I got 94 cents back. I can put the 94 cents and the receipt back in my envelope so that I know how much money I have left to spend. The cool thing about the envelope method is if I don't have any money left in the envelope, can I spend money? Zach says, nope. Thanks, Zach. If I don't have any money in the envelope, I can't spend any more. So that's a wonderful way to help make sure that we don't spend more money than we plan on spending. Nice job, you guys. And then since Zach has just switched to a checking account, he can keep the receipts from his checking account, and then maybe he could create a Google Doc and help keep track of the money that he has spent from each category in his budget. He might have to do a little bit more. It might be harder for him because the checking account doesn't have one part of the checking account that says it's wants, one part is needs, and one part is savings. He's going to have to keep track of that. But the envelope method can still help him. Nice job, you guys. We are working really well towards being our money masters. So we are going to keep track of our money and our budget, and we're going to do that monthly. And I think a great suggestion right now is to make a set day with your parent or your guardian and have them look over your envelopes and your spending plan with you. They can help you see if you've stayed on track or if you've spent a little too much money. And that will help you stay and meet your goals. So we've talked about keeping our receipts. We've talked about recording our expenses. And we've talked about the envelope method. Give me a Y in the chat if you think the envelope method is something that could work for you, or give me an N in the chat if you think no. Nice. Donnie thinks this could help him. I love that. Excellent. And then we can use this as we make a big spending goal. So as Isabel mentioned earlier, she thought it would be cool to save up for a really neat iPhone. And I think that would be awesome too. So in order to do that, we're going to have to make a plan and include that in our spending plan. So she may decide she wants to put a little bit more money in savings every month so that she will be able to meet that goal. And then every month she's going to want to check on her spending plan and check with her parent or her guardian to help see how close she's getting to her goal. And I love to do that because it's nice to see progress. That is awesome. All right, I want to just double check again and review our steps for how we do this and make sure that we really understand our steps to do it. So first step is we're going to estimate our monthly income. So we need to make sure we account all of the money that comes into us, whether we have an allowance, whether we do some chores around the house, whether we find some money in the couch cushions that we get to keep. We want to make sure that we have all of our income and that we record it. So in our example, we said we made $20 a month for our allowance. Then, or even helping a band teacher. That's awesome. I love that you have that job. Then we're going to apply our 30-30-40 rule. So type in the chat for me if I'm going to put 30% towards savings or if I'm going to put 40% towards savings. Donnie says 30. I'm going to see if everybody agrees with Donnie's 30%. Zach says 30. And so does Nitya. Oh, I'm going to disagree with that. We want more money to go to savings. So we're going to put 40% into savings. So 40% goes to savings, and we can calculate that by taking our income and multiplying it by what? There was a trick about moving a decimal. Am I going to multiply that by 0.30 or 0.40? I'm going to multiply it by 0.40. Good job. So we took our $20, we multiplied it by 0.40, and that tells me I'm going to put $8 in my savings. And am I going to wait until the end of the month to put it in savings, or should I put it in very first? First. I love it because it's our money, right? You earned this, so pay yourself first. That's fantastic. So after I have taken out my savings, I have 60% of my money left, and I'm going to split that in half. So we had $12 left after we put our money in savings. So that means I can spend $6 on needs and $6 on wants. Awesome. Then we talked about wants and needs. So we're going to do another quick round of need versus want game. So how about a video game? If it's a need, type an N. If it's a want, type a W. Nice. So far, it looks like we are all thinking that a video game is a want. Very good. What about a pair of shoes? Is a pair of shoes a need or is a pair of shoes a want? Nice. Monica says it's a want, but sometimes it feels like a need. Is that for the video game, Monica? Monica says yes. What about our pair of shoes? Was our pair of shoes a want or was that a need? Donnie says it's a need. And I agree with Donnie. I need shoes on my feet. What if I have 8 pairs of shoes at home and then see another pair of shoes to buy? At that point, is it a want or is it a need? That is a want at that point. I don't really have to have 8 pairs of shoes. Nice job. What if I'm out with my friends and it's time for lunch? So we decide to stop and get some food. Is that a want or is it a need? Nice job, you guys. That is a need. We have to be able to eat. We need to eat to live. Good job. But what if I decide to go out and buy that Snickers bar? Is that Snickers bar a want or a need? Very good. That Snickers bar. Oh, Donnie, did you say that Snickers bar was a want need? Because yeah, I might be hungry and I might want that Snickers bar to feel that need. But in the end, that's probably not the best, huh? Good job, Donnie. I like that very much. All right, then we're going to come up with our categories besides want and need. What about a clarinet charm is our question in the chat. A clarinet charm, do I have to have that to live? Or would that be something that I need just, that I would have just for a want, that I want that? I think that would be a want. I agree. But I'm going to take that a little step further for you, Nietzsche, because I'm thinking about a reed for a clarinet. Can you play your clarinet if you don't have a reed? And if you don't know what a reed is that little piece of wood that they put on the clarinet and blow through it. Yeah, I can't play a clarinet without a reed. So a clarinet reed could be a need for you to play your clarinet. Nice. And then we have talked about our categories as needs and wants. And we have the opportunity to split those down into even smaller categories if we want. So under the needs category, I could put clothing, I could put food, I could put water and have that. Or maybe I have to pay my own cell phone bill. That could end up being a need. You could make those categories within in that need category. And you could do the same thing under the want category. You could have smaller categories under that. So I could have eating out. I could have entertainment. What are some other categories you can think of that would go under the want category? Marching. Very cool. Window shopping. I love window shopping. That's a great way to entertain ourselves without spending any money, right? Awesome. We could have a whole category under wants for M&Ms. That would be fantastic. So after we've made our category, that's where we're going to set our goal for how much money we want to spend that month in that category. So maybe under eating out, I want to go out one time with my friends and I can go to a Wendy's and get a 4 for $4. So I'm going to budget about $5 for that. And that's what I'll plan to spend. I can do the same thing with all of my other categories. Then I get to go through my month and do the best I can to stick to my goals. And to do that, we need to make sure that we are tracking our expenses. And how are you guys going to track your expenses? We talked about keeping our receipts. We talked about setting up a document where we can record our expenses. Another category is we could have our parent help us. So of those 3 ways, which way would you like to use to track your expenses? Keeping your receipts, making an electronic document, or asking parent help? A Word document, that would be fantastic. I love that idea. To do it online. Some banks give you that option that your bank will track your expenses for you, and then you can just check it online. So then you would just have to make sure that the bank's website is accessible. Nice job. One way that you can help make sure that you don't spend more money than what you're hoping to is to use the envelope method. Type a Y in the chat if you think the envelope method would be helpful for you, or an N if you think that's not going to work so good for you. Yes, the envelope method. It looks like a couple of you think that's going to help. And the envelope method is a great method to use to start when you're starting out with a spending plan. It can really help you be accountable and not go over your goals. That's awesome. Then you want to keep track of your savings every month. I like to look at mine every month to see it get bigger and bigger because that's my payoff for me. But maybe you don't want to watch it every month. Maybe you want to check it every other month or every 6 months. But I think it's really important to just check it so that you can see and you get that awesome feeling of satisfaction knowing that you worked hard and you did something. Then always have an end goal in mind when you're spending your money. So if I have a goal that I want to save up for a really cool new iPhone, that can help me when I'm in the store, because if I look and see that package of peanut butter M&Ms, then I can think, do I want this right now so that I feel good right now? Or do I want to put this money towards my iPhone goal and then feel really great when I have my iPhone, or whatever big goal that you have? So what's a goal you can set right now for something you would like to save for? A bracelet to give as a gift. That is really nice. I like that. I love saving up for gifts for other people. Any other ideas of things you want to put as your saving goal? A new movie. That's an awesome thing to save for. I like it. And we can save for experiences. So maybe we want to go to the movie theater. We can save for that, or we can save for things that we can have just right now and get. That is awesome. So I'm excited for you guys to use this method and make a plan. And just to sum up the steps one more time before we go, we're going to estimate how much our income would be. And remember, income is money coming in to me. Then we're going to apply our 30, 30, 40 rule. And 40% goes to savings, then 30% to wants, and 30% to needs. We're going to treat our savings as an expense. And are we paying me first? Or are you paying yourself first? That was kind of confusing. Am I going to pay Monica first, or am I going to pay myself? Me, you're right, because it's your money. So take that money and put it in savings first. We're going to build our savings account and our emergency fund, and we can decide how much we want that to be depending on how much money we make every month. We're going to create our spending categories. We're going to track all of our expenses and keep track of those receipts. And we're going to review our money monthly so we can see if we've met our savings goals and make sure that we haven't spent more than what we've made. And I know if you guys do this, you guys will be amazing money masters. Thank you so much.
Well, I think you definitely have taught us we need to save our money and think about who we pay and then how we save at the same time. I don't know. I think I want those M&Ms. Now I'm hungry for them. Thank you all for joining us. Tomorrow is learning and living with our senses in our home. So hopefully you will join us for that. We will look forward to seeing you. Otherwise, have a great day, everyone.
Bye, everybody.